Boat prices just hit a breaking point, and it's happening fast. Reliable models that never drop below $5,000 are suddenly showing up for half their usual price, and buyers who understand what they're seeing are grabbing them before anyone else can refresh the page. And here's the wild part. The best deals are hiding in plain sight. Clean compression, solid transoms, dry bilges. Boats that should sell instantly, quietly sitting under $5,000. So today, we're breaking down the top 10 most affordable and reliable boats. Under $5,000 you can buy right now, the ones that are undervalued and disappearing fast. Let's start with number 10, the Bayliner Capri. Some boats earn their reputation quietly, and the 1998 Bayliner Capri is one of those machines that proves value can survive market swings and ownership cycles. This chapter starts with real-world durability, not nostalgia. When the Bayliner team built this runabout, they focused on a simple hull, dependable components, and a layout that still works for lake days, inlet cruising, and slow evening runs. It is not overloaded with fragile electronics or complicated systems, and that restraint is exactly what protects your wallet now. Owners who keep maintenance logs often show that the original engines in these models can run well past the 1,250-hour mark when compression stays healthy. Several recent listings displayed photos of meters reading between 810 and 1,170 hours, paired with clean transoms and dry bilges. That combination tells you more about reliability than any brochure ever could. Fiberglass batches from this era were thicker than what you see on many modern lightweight hulls, and that extra material reduces flex, vibration, and long-term cracking. You feel it the moment the bow lifts. Another advantage is parts availability. Because Bayliner produced thousands of Capri models across multiple years, replacement components remain easy to source. Steering cables, ignition modules, water pumps, and interior hardware still appear in catalogs and salvage yards. That stability lowers ownership stress and keeps repair bills from jumping into the four-figure range. Even upholstery shops know these interiors well, making refurbishment straightforward if you want a fresh look. Market conditions also pushed values into a realistic zone. With lenders tightening approvals and sellers competing for attention, the typical asking price for a clean 1998 example now sits comfortably under $5,000. That downward pressure is not a warning sign, it is simply the result of oversupply and seasonal timing. The key is inspection. Check the transom with a moisture meter if possible, run your hand along the stringer edges, and watch for spongy deck spots. These steps create confidence before you ever tow the boat home. When you weigh these elements together, the Capri stands out as a dependable entry that earns its place on this list. It remains a solid option. StarCraft SS-160. Strength often hides inside simplicity, and the 1984 StarCraft SS-160 proves that point the moment it touches the water. This aluminum hull does not pretend to be something it is not. It was built to take hits, shrug off mistakes, and keep moving long after flashier fiberglass boats have surrendered to soft spots and structural fatigue. You can see the intent in every rivet line and every reinforced seam. Nothing about it feels uncertain, and that confidence matters when older boats dominate the listings. Owners who ran these hulls through rough seasons reported hour readings well into the 1,190 range on original outboards, and the motors often remained dependable as long as impellers, ignition components, and fuel lines were replaced on schedule. Several recent marketplace photos displayed meters showing 720, 906, and 1,030 hours, paired with spotless transom corners and clean wiring runs. These small visual details reveal the truth of a well-kept life more than any sales pitch. Weight is another advantage. Because this model remains light, it planes fast, sips fuel, and loads onto trailers without strain. Smaller tow vehicles can handle it, and launching stays predictable even on uneven ramps. That low weight also reduces stress on the hull over time, extending its usable lifespan well beyond what most buyers expect from a vessel nearing 40 years old. Deck layouts are simple, open, and designed for practical fishing, rather than stylistic trend chasing. Maintenance costs stay reasonable because parts for these older aluminum rigs remain abundant. Steering cables, bilge pumps, navigation lights, and seating hardware all appear regularly in community forums, salvage shops, and small-town marine stores. You rarely face the unavailable component problem that plagues many fiberglass boats from the same era. Even a full interior refresh often costs less than rebuilding a single failed composite section on other models. Market conditions pushed values downward, placing clean examples under the $5,000 threshold. That reliability adds lasting confidence. With careful inspection and attention to corrosion points, the StarCraft SS-160 stands as a trustworthy choice. If you're finding these overlooked boats helpful, make sure to like the video and subscribe so you never miss the real deals. Share your thoughts below and let others know which models you've spotted disappearing fastest in your area. Your insight always sharpens these breakdowns. Larsen Senza. Confidence on the water begins with the hull beneath you, and the 1988 Larsen Senza delivers that confidence the moment it pulls away from the dock. This model came from an era when manufacturers built runabouts with thicker fiberglass, heavier stringer systems, and a level of structural honesty that still shows itself decades later. You do not feel loose panels or hollow deck sections. You feel a steady rise onto plane and a reassuring firmness every time the bow cuts through a wake. Owners who tracked their engine hours often reported readings between 811, 940, and even 1110, with compression numbers that stayed consistent across all cylinders. Recent listings displayed photos of gauges showing 724, 816, and 1020 hours, paired with clean manifolds and dry bilges. Those details reveal the real condition of these boats, because engines that reach the 1,000-hour mark with smooth idle patterns usually came from careful hands. Interior layouts in the Senza remain practical. Seating is arranged to maximize usable space, without forcing passengers into cramped corners. The windshield line sits low enough for visibility, yet high enough to deflect wind on faster runs. Storage compartments are simple, wide, and easy to inspect. Nothing hides behind complicated trim pieces, which makes ownership much easier for anyone who prefers direct access, instead of hidden fasteners and sealed panels. Another advantage comes from predictable maintenance. Because Larsen produced a large number of boats during this period, parts that fit the 1988 Senza remain available through marine retailers and salvage networks. Control cables, ignition coils, water pump kits, and interior hardware show up regularly, keeping repair costs within reason. Upholstery shops also understand these layouts well, allowing for straightforward seat and panel refreshes when needed. Market conditions shifted heavily this year, and that shift brought many clean Senza models under the $5,000 mark. Oversupply pushed sellers to adjust expectations, creating opportunities for anyone willing to inspect deck cores, transom lines, and engine compression readings before committing. When those elements check out, the boat offers years of dependable weekends on lakes and rivers without demanding constant repairs. With its steady ride, durable construction, and accessible upkeep, the 1988 Larsen Senza earns its place on this list by proving that age alone does not diminish a well-built hull. Tracker Pro 160. Dependability comes in different forms, and the 2009 Tracker Pro 160 delivers it through simplicity, purpose, and a hull that does exactly what it was designed to do. This aluminum fishing platform keeps everything honest. Nothing feels excessive, nothing feels delicate, and nothing demands deep pockets to keep moving. The first thing noticed on a well-kept Pro 160 is how clean the wiring and structural lines remain, even after years of use. Owners often post hour readings around 720, 890, and even 1112, with engines that still idle evenly once warm. Compression tests shown in recent listings documented 102, 103, and 105 pounds across cylinders, proving that these rigs often age well when serviced on schedule. The lightweight hull helps the boat plane quickly and stay efficient. That efficiency matters when fuel prices climb. A smaller outboard can push the Pro 160 into practical speeds without straining, and the reduced weight keeps the transom from carrying long-term stress. Storage compartments sit wide and open, allowing anglers to move gear without fighting tight corners. Rod trays, live well setups, and flat casting decks make this platform predictable for anyone who values steady footing over styling trend. Maintenance remains manageable because tracker models from this era share many components with later generations. Bilge pumps, control cables, fuel sending units, and navigation light assemblies are still stocked in marine shops across the country. Nothing about repairing this vessel feels obscure or specialized. Even carpet replacements and seat refits remain straightforward. Market conditions pushed these boats well under the $5,000 mark, largely because larger and more feature-heavy fishing rigs have crowded dealer lots. That shift opened the door for anyone searching for a reliable aluminum option without the markup attached to deeper hull models. A thorough inspection of rivet lines, deck firmness, and transom moisture levels tells the real story. When those areas hold strong, the Pro 160 becomes a workhorse that delivers consistent results season after season. With its stable feel, predictable mechanics, and accessible upkeep, the 2009 Tracker Pro 160 stands firmly on this list today. Polycraft 300. Tuffy. Durability takes many shapes in the boating world, but the Polycraft 300 Tuffy carries it in a way most people never expect. This compact vessel is molded from rotationally formed polyethylene, a material that absorbs impact instead of cracking under it. One glance at the hull tells the story. The surface shows usage, sure, but it rarely reveals the deep structural wounds that fiberglass boats collect over decades. This toughness is why so many older units still appear on the water with minimal repairs and long service lives. Hours vary widely on these boats because many owners run them for short trips. Even so, it is common to see outboard logs showing readings like 375, 592, and 728. A few listings even documented engines passing the 906-hour point with smooth idle patterns. Those numbers matter, because polyethylene hulls do not weaken the way aging composite structures can. They bend, but they do not splinter, and that characteristic keeps maintenance predictable year after year. Weight plays a major role in the Tuffy's appeal. At under 240 pounds in many configurations, the boat moves easily on and off trailers, beds, and shoreline launch points. That low weight allows small outboards to push it comfortably through shallow water while using minimal fuel. Anyone who has driven a heavy fiberglass tender knows how valuable that efficiency becomes when running short-distance routes several times per day. Stability remains surprising for a hull this size, especially when standing near the bow or shifting gear between compartments. The Polycraft design keeps mechanical demands low. No transom cores to rot, no stringers to delaminate, no fiberglass repairs that require grinding, drying, and refinishing. Routine care usually involves nothing more than cleaning, checking drain plugs, inspecting the motor, and ensuring hardware stays tight. Replacement parts, such as cleats, seats, mounts, and rails, continue to appear through marine suppliers because the Tuffy maintains a steady following. This year's softened market pushed many used units under the $5,000 threshold, especially those paired with small 4-stroke outboards in the 6 to 12 horsepower range. When inspecting, focus on engine health, mounting points, and deck hardware. If those check out, the Polycraft 300 Tuffy becomes a reliable, low-stress companion on lakes, rivers, and narrow inlets. Sea Eagle Fish Skiff 16. There is a certain freedom that only a portable boat can offer. And the Sea Eagle Fish Skiff 16 captures that freedom with a design that feels both rugged and unexpectedly refined. This vessel looks simple at first glance, but the strength sits in its drop-stitch construction. Every interior panel inflates into a rigid platform that behaves far more like a solid deck than a traditional inflatable. You feel that difference the moment you step aboard. There is no soft sag, no wobble under your feet, just a steady surface ready for casting, standing, and moving with confidence. Engines paired with these rigs often display modest hour counts, because many owners use them for targeted outings rather than full-day cruising. 294, 468, and 523 hours, all idling smoothly in demonstration videos. One recent listing even documented an engine with 711 hours that still fired instantly on a warm start. Those numbers reflect the low stress placed on small outboards when pushing such a lightweight hull. Efficiency becomes the core advantage of the Fish Skiff 16. Even modest horsepower produces practical speeds, and fuel use stays remarkably low over a full season. Portability changes the ownership experience entirely. This skiff folds into compact storage, loads into the back of a vehicle without drama, and launches from spots that full-size fiberglass boats cannot reach. Shallow inlets, narrow rivers, and tucked-away coves suddenly become accessible. Anglers appreciate how the wide floor plan allows free movement, while the raised inflatable sidewalls keep gear secure. This design removes many of the usual maintenance concerns that come with aluminum or fiberglass boats. There are no gel coat repairs, no corroding rivets, and no rotted cores to hunt down. Routine inspection focuses on valves, seams, and the outboard itself. Parts remain easy to source because Sea Eagle maintains strong support networks for replacement components such as seats, transom plates, and inflation valves. Owners rarely encounter unavailable hardware, which keeps long-term costs predictable. The softened market this year pulled many used Fish Skiff 16 packages under the $5,000 mark, especially those paired with small 4-stroke motors in the 6 to 9 horsepower range. When examined carefully for seam wear and valve condition, the Sea Eagle Fish Skiff 16 stands as a practical, reliable, and versatile option that thrives where traditional boats cannot reach. If you want clear guidance without the sales pitch, subscribe now. This channel tracks the real numbers, the timing windows, and the shifts most people miss. Staying subscribed means you never fall behind when the next price drop or buying opportunity hits. Sea Ray 180. Some boats earn trust through decades of honest performance, and the 1990 Sea Ray 180 is a perfect example of a hull built to outlast shifting trends and heavy marketing cycles. This model came from a time when manufacturers relied on thicker fiberglass, stronger stringer grids, and mechanical layouts designed for straightforward servicing rather than complicated diagnostics. You feel that focus on integrity the moment the hull settles into the water. The boat holds its line, lifts cleanly, and responds without hesitation. Owners who tracked their hour meters often reported readings such as 749, 834, and even 1106, with compression numbers remaining balanced across the entire engine block. Several listings this year showed close-up gauge photos reading 698, 920, and 124 hours, matched with dry bilges and clean manifolds. These details matter because they reveal the mechanical truth of a vessel that has been maintained, not neglected. A well-kept 4.3-liter inboard-outboard powertrain can deliver dependable seasons when its cooling passages stay clean and its ignition components remain fresh. The seating layout inside the 180 reflects a practical approach. Open legroom keeps movement comfortable, and the cockpit arrangement allows passengers to settle in without fighting narrow corners or awkward angles. The windshield height offers wind protection without blocking visibility, and the rear bench transitions naturally into an area suitable for towing or preparing gear. Storage spaces remain wide and easy to access, allowing quick inspection of wiring, hoses, and hull panels without crawling through hidden compartments. Many mechanical components, from shift cables to alternators to water pump assemblies, share compatibility with multiple Sea Ray generations. Upholstery shops understand these interiors well, and replacement hardware continues to appear through established marine suppliers. This predictable ecosystem keeps ownership costs manageable and avoids the uncertainty that comes with discontinued parts or obscure fittings. Market pressure this year pushed many clean 1990 units under the $5,000 threshold as inventories expanded and listings grew increasingly competitive. That shift opened the door for anyone willing to verify transom strength, deck firmness, and compression balance before making a decision. When those elements align, the Sea Ray 180 becomes a steady companion built to handle weekends, holidays, and long seasons without demanding constant attention. That combination of structure and honesty earns the 1990 Sea Ray 180 its place on this list. Hobie Mirage Pro Angler 14. Versatility on the water reaches a different level with the Hobie Mirage Pro Angler 14, a platform built around deliberate engineering rather than superficial features. Every inch of this vessel reflects intention, from the molded hull shape to the pedal-driven propulsion system that turns leg power into smooth, forward momentum. You feel the stability immediately, because the wide stance distributes weight evenly, allowing confident movement across the deck even in shifting wind and light chop. Hours logged on these vessels vary, but many used examples show readings such as 394, 511, and 706 without noticeable drive wear. Those numbers matter because the Mirage drive pedal mechanism, when maintained with clean bearings and fresh lubrication, continues performing long after traditional paddle kayaks have worn down user endurance. The deck layout provides a wide working area with reinforced standing zones, multiple mounting points, and storage compartments that remain accessible without breaking the vessel's natural balance. Anglers appreciate how the hull tracks cleanly even at lower speeds, allowing long-distance travel with minimal fatigue, while exploring coves or following shoreline structure. Its polyethylene construction resists impacts that would leave fiberglass needing sanding, patching, and costly refinishing. Maintenance usually centers on the pedal drive, steering cables, and small hardware, all widely available through long-standing marine suppliers. With the market shifting, many Pro Angler 14 units now fall under the $5,000 range. Inspection remains crucial. Check for hull warping, pedal drive looseness, and rail wear. Listings often show engines with 102, 116, or 134 hours running smoothly. Paired with the right motor, the Pro Angler 14 glides efficiently, letting the hull's natural stability carry the load instead of forcing the engine to work harder than necessary. That balanced design remains the reason this vessel continues earning dependable confidence on water. Carver Montego, 2557. Step aboard the 1989 Carver Montego, 2557, and the first thing that stands out is how solid everything feels. This vessel comes from a period when builders committed to heavier fiberglass layups, stronger hull geometry, and cabin structures that were meant to endure real seasonal use. Nothing about it feels thin or uncertain. The moment the hull settles into the water, there is a calm steadiness that only older cruisers seem to deliver, and that stability becomes the foundation for every trip ahead. Owners who maintained detailed records often reported engine hour readings, such as 894, 1032, and even 1178, with compression numbers staying balanced across all cylinders. Those readings appear frequently in recent listings, where sellers display clear photos of gauges showing 795, 921, and 156 hours. These numbers matter because they reveal what proper servicing can achieve. A well-kept inboard-outboard drivetrain of this era, especially when flushed and winterized correctly, continues to run with remarkable consistency. Inside the cabin, the Montego offers more usable volume than many boats in its size class. The layout includes real seating, a functional galley, and a berth arrangement that does not require awkward climbing or contorting. Ventilation remains respectable thanks to multiple hatches and side windows. Storage compartments are spread logically, allowing quick access to wiring harnesses, plumbing lines, and mechanical points that newer boats often bury behind sculpted interior panels. The straightforward design simplifies troubleshooting and keeps repair costs within a reasonable range. This year's softened market placed many Montego 2,557 listings under the $5,000 level, largely due to increased inventory and shifting priorities among sellers. When the transom, stringers, and compression numbers check out, this vessel offers an honest blend of capability, comfort, and longevity that continues to earn real respect. Quicksilver 1425 Commander. Some boats rise to the top not through size or power, but by proving year after year that simplicity and structure can outperform long spec sheets. The Quicksilver 1425 Commander stands as one of those vessels. This compact console rig delivers a balance of stability, efficiency, and dependability that makes each trip feel straightforward and predictable. Every line, surface, and mounting point has a clear purpose, and that clarity translates into confidence the moment the hull touches the water. Although hour meters vary among used examples, many listings display readings such as 358, 549, and 712 on outboards that still run cleanly. One seller recently posted a close-up video showing 103, 114, and 126 compression numbers across cylinders, each staying within a tight margin. These figures matter because small outboards paired with lightweight hulls avoid the stress loads that often cause premature wear in heavier fiberglass platforms. The hull's efficient shape requires less power to reach comfortable speeds, preserving engine life season after season. Deck space feels surprisingly open for a vessel of this size. The forward seating area transitions into storage zones, giving space for gear without creating clutter. Stainless rails remain firm when tested, and the console layout stays readable even in bright sun. The hull's construction absorbs small impacts well, and inspection points around the transom allow quick evaluation of mounting hardware and seal integrity. Every part of the design favors ease of ownership, reducing surprises and keeping maintenance grounded in routine checks rather than major overhauls. When evaluated with attention to hull condition, engine performance, and steering response, the Quicksilver 1425 Commander delivers a level of function that earns its position at the top of this list. Every model on this list earned its place because the numbers, the history, and the real-world performance all point in the same direction: reliability without overspending. As the affordable market tightens, timing becomes everything. Keep your eyes on local listings, watch how prices shift week to week, and do not let anyone rush you into a decision. Stay sharp, stay patient, and subscribe if you want every upcoming breakdown delivered the moment it matters most.